Hey, Emerson.
Hi, Sue. Was that Sue that said hello? Or was it Mala? I'm not
It's
sure.
Nola.
Hi, Mala. How are you doing?
I'm fine. Fine.
Oh. We're going to get started in a couple of minutes. I apologize for these live meetings. It's different from Zoom. Zoom, I'm very punctual. I'm actually still punctual, but sometimes the attendants they park, all that kind of stuff. Um, yeah, that's a good seat. Yeah, sure. Have a seat there. Yeah.
Mm.
Can you hear? Hello. Can you hear me? Okay. Okay. So this is the third day of the event, and usually in events like this, I usually wrap it up with an ending. So welcome to graduation. Graduation is always happening. Graduation is what's usually longed for in the University of Illusions. But seemingly, this is what happens: is when a seeker thinks that it can achieve something, they get credits of awareness, credits of consciousness, credits of applied non-duality, credits of knowledge, credits of anything. And then when they go to the dean, they're like, "I'm sorry, this graduation does not require any credits. This graduation does not require any knowledge." Because any knowledge or any kind of credits or any kind of understanding is an illusion. When the idea of what liberation is or freedom is conceptualized and understood, then it becomes a trapped or a constricted kind of freedom. In this apparent liberation, everything is already graduated, everything is already retired, everything is already surrendered, everything is already open, everything is already free. So in the University of Illusions, the seekers tend to acquire so much identity, so much knowledge, so much understanding in hopes that they can break the illusion. But what seemingly happens is that even everything that the illusion can only produce is just an illusion, so it'll still be an illusion. So trying to attain something that's already this, I'm going to repeat what I said yesterday, something that's already non-negotiable. When it's negotiated, it's missed. When it's questioned, it's missed. Even when it's understood, it's missed as well. Although the seeker or the student does not have any free will or choice, there's this illusion that I'm getting somewhere, that I'm getting to know something, that I'm beginning to understand what is happening. Or even the idea that I'm almost there, that I almost got there. I had few glimpses under my belt. I have a few, a mastery of meditation. I have a few mastery of whatever. None of that matters. There's nothing wrong or right about that, but it doesn't really matter. Because what's being presented over and over and over again is already perfection. Today, seemingly, it's kind of cold here in Toronto. Yesterday, it was muggy. The other day was just bright and sunny. There's no way that we can negotiate this weather right now. It's already perfection. So that seems to be what happens in a situation where a seeker is always wanting something different than this, is they are trying to change what is happening. It's already graduated. It's already free. It's already liberated. It doesn't need to do anything at all. Because what's being expressed here is already freedom as it is. Freedom as is. So any attempt to defile or try to change or try to control freedom creates suffering, creates this friction. Although no one has no choice in doing any of this, it's like swimming upstream. So again, every single apparent illusory moment is graduation. It's like you've arrived, but you will never arrive because there's no you to arrive or not to arrive. You don't need any dissertation about wholeness or whatever it is that you think that you can do. It's like a workaholic kept on being reminded that this is retirement already. This is retirement already. And there's nothing that you can do to unretire it. But there is this perception of what should be and what could be, and why it should be. And all of this different variation obscures what's being presented here. What's being presented is the completeness, pureness of everything that is occurring, which is also not occurring. Liberation or freedom or unconditional love keeps on saying, hello, hello, hello. And the illusory me or seeker or the negotiator keeps on ignoring it. Keeps on thinking that, well, that's not unconditional love there. It's only unconditional love recognizing itself over and over and over again. But there is a different version of it that apparently occurs, that obscures it. Because it appears as everything. So what is being longed for appears as every singular thing. And everything has never been separated. It's graduated. It's already done. I had this funny thought. I just have this funny thought that, when people call Tony Parsons on the phone, they're like, "Well, you know what? I have a credit in I have a mastery now. I have 5 glimpses, and Tony would be like, "Nope, that's not it." It doesn't require anything. It doesn't require any credits. It doesn't require any history at all, because there's no such thing as history. Everything is just this immediacy, this completeness of this immediacy that is presenting itself over and over and over and over again, and it keeps on getting blocked. There's nothing wrong or right about blocking it. So everything that is seen right now is an illusion. At the same time, everything that is also seen, although it's an illusion, is also freedom. It's also completeness. It's also emptiness. And then everything that's appearing, although it's irritating or whatever, once it's recognized that that's just emptiness. Let's use the word absolute. Let's use the word, again, these are just words, unconditional love appearing over and over and over again. Saying that it's done. It's done. It's done. Relax. Because there's nothing that needs to be found when it appears as everything. And even the question, when someone questions, well, where is it? How come I can't see it? It's even in that question. So it's like you're drowned in it. It's in your sweat. It's in the chills. It's in the taste of the mouth. It's in the bad, nasty thought. It's in the kindness. It's in the evilness. It's in the creepiness. It's in everything, because everything is unconditional love appearing as whatever. So when that's seen, when it's seen that in that, when it's seen its entirety, it's almost kind of like really humbling and shocking. Like, oh, wow. The wall is unconditional love. The fan is unconditional love. Everything is conditional love. Since there is no one, the wall is walling. The fan is fanning. The camera is cameraing. The smile is smiling. It's already complete. It's already free. In the immediacy of all of these things, there's nothing that it trying to figure it out, trying to find it, obscures it. And there's nothing wrong or right about that. It's when I say that this is already clarity. And then the me, there's no me, inserts itself and say, well, it's not clarity for me. Gah. Well, it's not happening here. Everything is already happening as it is. There's no difference in everything. Everything is sameness, wholeness appearing as this apparent separation. So you have never existed. You were never here. You have never spoken a word. You've never had a single thought. You've never had a single problem. You don't have any relationships. You don't have a past. You don't have a future. Exciting. You don't exist at all. That's why there's nothing that you can do to promote yourself into something of a super existence. Because everything that's appearing is already unconditional love. Even the thought of you. Even that persistent illusion that I am here is already completeness. It's already graduated. So happy graduation, but for no one. Hooray! If you have any questions, please go ahead.
I like your shirt, Emerson.
Oh, thank you. It matches the
Wow.
wall. It's a bird of paradise.
Yes, a bird. Wow. Lots of colors. Beautiful.
Thank you.
Oh, I want that too.
You can also type your question if you prefer just to type your question or not. We can do eye gazing. Do you have any question? Not right now. Okay. I actually matched the wall. Huh? Iliana. Hello.
I'm not muted, am I?
No, you're not.
Sorry.
Okay. Oh, you're welcome, Johannes. You're welcome. I had no choice in any of this. This is just what's happening this weekend. Can you talk about paradise? Yeah. I think someone just had that conversation with me earlier today. Since there's no time, you have never left paradise. This is still paradise. That's why there's a bird of paradise on my shirt here. Everything is already this. Any idea of what paradise is obscures what paradise already appearing as everything. In paradise, nothing happens. In paradise, there are no others. There's no hierarchy. There is no less than or more than. But there's this illusion that somehow I've left the Garden of Eden or paradise. But the idea of another being, maybe God or something, separates it. So that seems to be an error, or like a really bad part of a dream. But once the error is seen that everything is, that paradise is just really a singularity. Again, since there's no time, this is still paradise. This is eternity. This is infinity. The funny thing is when the apparent, it's almost 4 years ago now, when there was this apparent, this is just a story dropping away of this character Emerson. It was just really DJing and then sitting in, and then looked at how everything is in perfect order, like everything, like this, everything is in perfection. And then it saw a dust, like a dust bunny. I'm like, oh wow, there's actually even dust in paradise. It's kind of like this filter that you think that what's being seen is separation. So the idea of separation obscures paradise. But it's in plain sight. It's this. I like that sound. Can you say something of pain? Yes. Everything that's appearing as pain is just pain by itself. This character was in a lot of pain. This had vertigo last night and all that kind of stuff. But it was just vertigo happening. It was just pain happening. Woke up this morning with a big smile, ordered a whole bunch of Portuguese custard buns. Like 12 of them. There's still some more over there if you guys want some. Because I know this area has them. They're quite delicious. So pain is just something that happens. Everything that apparently happens in the illusory appearance is temporal. It feels really, really real. It feels like a felt sense of realness. For example, after this, I'm going to go for a massage. My brother is going to pick me up and get me well for a couple of hours. I'm looking forward to that one. So pain is happening, and if pain is happening, then you treat it. Again, this communication is just to illuminate that it's not happening to anyone. When it's seen that it's not really happening to anyone, then a lot of the how do you say it? I want to call it something clever, like the pain hangover disappears, right? It's kind of like the narrative of like, oh, why is this happening to me? What did I do? Is there something blocked in me? Is there something that I have done? Is there something karmically that I've done in the past? This is such a bad thing. So when pain happens, it's full on. I'm not going to lie. It's full on. Like I think yesterday I was like zonked out most of the time. And when it's gone, it's gone. But no one claims it. No one makes it into a narrative. No one makes it into a trilogy. It's just what's happening. The tendency for apparent people is when there is this easiness, they don't see the easiness. But the moment that pain comes, they hold on to that. Yesterday I was super happy because there's a lot of easiness walking around, and I think I overdid it. That's probably what happened. I was just walking around in this beautiful street of Toronto. There's so much diversity of wholeness. There's nothing behind any of the eyes. It's just this immediacy of this beauty. And that was apparently happening through this easiness. It's again, paradise is always presented over and over again. Graduation is at hand over and over again. But the tendency is, even if it's already free or easiness or whatever, then it tries to obscure it. It rather focuses on the painful stuff. The moment that pain hits, they're like, oh, my life is shit. Oh, my problems I have so much problems. There are no problems. There are none. There's also a tendency to hold on to the temporal. Whatever is happening temporarily, it's almost kind of like the by DJs. It's almost kind of like you extend that mix for like 7 minutes rather than it's just really a minute track. Because it's dramatic, it has this flair. So why not? But in between those flare-ups of pain and everything, there's just this beautiful easiness that when you walk around, you see the flowers, the greenery, the air, the wall. So beautiful. Because everything is already paradise. I think I remember this poem when I was a kid. It's like, man always want what it's not. When it's hot, it wants it cold. When it cold, it wants it hot. Always wanting what is not. And that seems to be the tendency in everything that appears. How can you tell if it's paradise already? Because there's no one here to say that it's not or it isn't. Because there's a seeing here that when the apparent character fell away, that everything that is seen is an illusion, including time, including this or that, including separation, including good or bad. So in the absence of good or bad, or the idea of this or that, then everything just becomes this wholeness. So something never left. You can say that this is the Garden of Eden that has never been left. Petra, hi. How are you?
Hi. I'm in a lot of pain, but can you talk about so whatness in everything again?
Yeah, because everything is already complete, right? Everything doesn't really need any more input. Everything is already non-negotiable. It's like going outside, outside of the street, and basically saying that, yelling at the sky and saying, "I want it to be sunny, sunny." It's non-negotiable. It's just going to be that way. Everything that's temporal, that's happening, like the weather, pain, is an illusion. Everything is an illusion. So what's completely missed all the time is the permanence. The permanence is this stillness, this peacefulness that no one understands, this unconditionality, this so whatness of everything. So when there's this character that for example goes to the street, I was walking down the street and it started raining. So what? There's nothing that can be done about it. Or if there's pain in the body, so what?
When it comes to decisions, then it's the same. Also, so what? If I do it this way, so what? And okay, there's no one who can do anything more. I go back to non-duality kindergarten.
You never left. You never left. See, that's the thing, is that there's this idea that there's separation.
Mm-hmm. Totally.
So
I feel extremely separate
idea,
today, and it really hurts. I feel totally lost and.
Yeah, it's kind of like in a dream sometimes, when you're dreaming at night. Everything feels completely separate. Everything feels completely real. Everything feels whatever, like it could be a nightmare. It could be this, what you're telling me right now, in this separateness. But the moment that the apparent sees it, that it's just a dream, then everything that was happening crumbles. Meaning it's not really happening. It's temporal. So you've never really woken up because there's no you to wake up. So this is still a dream. And in the dream, everything feels completely separate, but it's really not. It's just wholeness. It's just everything is just appearing as this apparent separation, but nothing has ever been separate.
Okay.
Thank you, Petra.
Thank you.
Oh, hi, Mala.
Hi, Emerson.
How are you?
Okay. Emerson, every thought and emotion and action and whatever belongs to this thing which I don't know what is, and then another thing comes up and has a conversation with this, and because you're not there, and then it could happen to have like a third conversation, says, well, who are you talking to, because you're not real. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's kind of really funny. One time, it's really nothing. It's there's no multiple thank you.
Yeah.
There's no multiple stuff that's going on. And since there's no time, there seems to be kind of like a conversation happening, or kind of like a discussion, or it's almost kind of like the illusion, things that it can watch another illusion. So it branches off to another illusion and to another illusion. But it's really just a singularness of all of this. This is just the wholeness.
It just wants to stay there, doesn't it? It doesn't want to go away. And, I just think, oh, whatever. And when you actually, because I can't pinpoint it, I don't even know how to explain it. When a thought comes up, it's immediately recognized it's not your thought, because there's no one
See,
there.
you're trying to separate it again, because you are reinserting yourself that this is not my thought.
Oh,
See what happened there? Yeah. So you're segregating the thought as this is not me. But the moment that you
I'm
do that,
reinforcing it. Oh,
you're
right.
reinforcing it. Yeah. And it's quite a headache, right?
How do I not reinforce it, Emerson?
Well, there's nothing that you can do or not do about it. It's just this really illusion. It's kind of like when you're dreaming at night, right? You know what I'm saying? There's different things that's happening. This is not happening all the time, meaning the thoughts and everything. There's always going to be this easiness or this permanence that all of these apparent thoughts are arising from this emptiness. So all of those things that's arising is also emptiness. It's not separate from it. So it's not about getting rid of it, but it's also seeing that that's also emptiness, that there's nothing wrong or right about that. It's just what's happening. So there's nothing that you can do or undo about it, because it's just, it's like, as I said, everything's being presented as already completed, as perfection. But here you are thinking that these thoughts are not perfection. These are not. So when it's seen in a wider lens, that everything's actually appearing just from this wholeness, including thoughts, feelings, and everything, it's not separate. It's not, although it's not real, it's also just all emptiness. And there's nothing wrong or right about that.
It's just
everything that's being presented to you is already unconditional freedom. It's so free that it appears as thoughts. It's so free that it appears as someone observing a thought and doing and all of this stuff. But it's just really whole. There's no time, right? So how can multiple things happen if there's no time? It's impossible.
Sometimes it's very painful, isn't it? It's very painful, but yeah.
Yeah, it's so free that
That's
sometimes
quite
it's
good.
very painful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks, Emerson.
Thank you, Mala.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Do you have a question? Sorry.
No, I don't have a question.
Okay.
Just want to say I was really glad to hear there's no time because I was quite late.
You're not even here.
Oh,
Yes.
then I can stop being annoyed that the streetcar didn't come.
That's right. Yeah.
I was taking it so personally. The streetcar wasn't coming for me.
Yeah, that's the thing about holding on to that idea that there's something that I could have done or something could have done better. So what's being presented is already perfection. And then there's this idea that, oh, I'm late. Oh, I am, 10 minutes late or whatever. You were never late.
Yeah, similarly, as I was lying in bed last night, wishing I didn't have a bad sinus headache, I kept thinking, if I didn't take this as such a personal insult, it would be at least a different kind of pain, right? Yeah. But it was a sinus headache for me, for heaven's sake.
Yeah, the moment that the claiming happens, right, that this is happening to me, and then the suffering happens, right? It's just a sinus happening. It's like a
Yeah, and yet I can't picture what it would be like under any other circumstances. When I was in pain, I was in pain. It's not like I could picture a better kind of pain. I just wish I didn't feel offended by my pain.
Yeah, see, what happens is, I was in a lot of pain yesterday. What happened was just pain is just happening. It's not taken personally. It doesn't become a sequel. It doesn't become an extended, director's version with commentary from the actors and the director and the producer. So that's what happens with pain, is it becomes this my thing. It's just this commentary and everything that's happening.
Part 11.
Pain Part 11, or this is the director's cut now. Yeah. Don't get me wrong, pain is still going to be pain. It doesn't become kind of like rainbows and unicorns, kind of pain. No. Go ahead.
Hey,
Hi.
I had just a thought that when you talked about this is already paradise, paradise is never for the person. Paradise is just there when the person is gone.
There's no separation, basically, what's being expressed.
Yeah.
Paradise. That's why I have this Bird of Paradise shirt. It's not separate from anything.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because as long as the sense of a person is there, paradise cannot be entered.
Then paradise is lost because
Yeah.
it keeps on thinking that it has to be attained or it left it. There's something that it did. It's either by guilt or shame that it left it. But since this is just an illusion that nothing's happening here, paradise was never lost, and it can never be gained because it always is. And since there's no time, there's never been any single minute, or how could a separation happen or departure happen when there's no such thing as time? So how can paradise be left when there's no time?
There's somehow this understanding that wholeness is always complete. There's no separation from wholeness.
Yeah.
And there's intellectual understanding that that's not possible, that there's anything separate. it's completely clear,
Yes.
but the felt sense is somehow different. Somehow.
So when it's already
Yeah.
whole and complete, right? There's nothing to figure out. So when an intellectual understanding happens to it, it's kind of like taking a PhD and having a dissertation about wholeness. When it doesn't need to be explained or doesn't need to be understood, then you think that you need to graduate from it. This is wholeness, and there's no you. Wholeness is already appearing as everything. Wholeness is so whole that it appears separate. It includes everything. Nothing is ever rejected in wholeness. Like paradise, nothing is ever lost in paradise. So the understanding, the intellectualizing of what seems to, be conceptualized, or made into a story. So the illusion is just trying to express an illusion what it can never express an illusion, because an illusion is separate.
Yeah, this illusion is not real. So separation never happens.
Separation never happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what happens here within the dream, whatever happens, there's resistance against what's happening somehow.
Because as
That's
I
what's
said
going on.
Yeah, so what's appearing is non-negotiable, right? So there's this negotiator named Johannes that keeps on negotiating the non-negotiable. So for example, the weather outside is sunny. It wants it to be less sunny. It negotiates it. This is already freedom. And this is not, and it negotiates it into thinking that I want something better, freedom. I want to be jumping up and down. But the freedom that is appearing is so unconditional that it appears as questioning freedom. That's also freedom. So it negotiates something that cannot be changed. So this is the changeless. Everything that appears is changeless. The one that changes is the illusion. The one that questions is the illusion. The one that rejects it is the illusion.
Yeah, and this, what you said, negotiation, it's also wholeness.
It is wholeness is negotiating its wholeness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah. So it's infinity negotiating its infinity. It
Yeah. But nobody could do, or there's.
No, because
Yeah.
it's impossible.
Yeah.
It's impossible. Yeah. Yeah.
No way out, no way out.
Yeah, because there was never anyone in or out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. Hi, Emerson. It seems like this message obliterates all spiritual teachings and also seems to explain all these spiritual mysteries. You could say that, yeah, but this communication actually has nothing to do with spirituality. This is coming from a spiritual, ex-spiritual teacher that really thought in concepts and ideas of everything basically, and it had a lineage, it had a source, it had a meaning, it had a purpose. So this one, as I said, this is like the graduation of all of that, meaning that everything is dropped. All the understanding, all of the knowledge, all of the credits that you get from spirituality, all of that, all of that mastery, all of that ideas is destroyed. In explaining the spiritual mystery, it can't even touch that because this mystery is not spiritual. Spiritual is just another idea. It's just another thought, right? The moment that you add something to it, then it lightens the mystery. It's just a mystery. Even that is saying too much because it's just a word. As I mentioned, I think yesterday, because this was a spiritual teacher, so it has a little bit of tendency to be allergic to a lot of the spiritual thinking and teachings, ideas, because what is seen is just so clear that those are really irrelevant. Because what's being presented is appearing as everything. It appears as whatever, including those ideas, but those ideas tend to segregate it into something more special, more dramatic, more stories, basically. So it's just another story that has disguised itself as wisdom. There's no such thing as wisdom. Thank you for the question, Billy. If you want to add to that, please go ahead.
Can I just say you've outdone yourself with your hoodie today?
Oh, thank you, thank you, thank. I didn't even know that this matched the wall.
Pretty spectacular.
Thank you, thank you.
I'm used to, seeing you on screen.
Okay.
Your stylish dressing, which I
Thank you.
admire, but
Oh, thank you,
this is a cut above.
thank you, thank you. It's for you.
And we've never even met.
That's right. Yeah. Oh, thank you. Billy goes, thank you. I agree with everything you said. Thank you. Hanging out is so beautifully empty. Cheers. Yes. It's always this way, though. It's always beautifully empty. Even in the chaos, even in the pain, even in whatever seems to appear, it's always empty. I have someone taking care of me today. Thank you. Oh, someone's. Oh, hey, Sheer. How are you?
Yeah, fine. It's all about you.
Excellent.
Good. You know about done, that everything is done.
Everything is done, yeah. Everything is
Yes.
finished already. Hmm.
That I agree with you, but done is time.
Yeah, meaning that time is already not really real, right? So everything doesn't have a beginning or everything. Everything is already
Yeah,
complete.
yeah.
Yeah. So there is no starting. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, but words, we have to use words to be able to describe. It's finished. It's done. It's completed. It's non-negotiable.
So can it happen that that let be everything what it is?
Oh, so repeat that again.
Can it happen that let be everything whatever it is?
There's no one letting be to be whatever it
Yeah.
is.
But
Um,
because if I say let be everything what it is, then it's be still me involved.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. There's just this happening that does not really require any input or output from anyone. It's just what's happening. So everything is just flowing perfectly, and even the idea that you're letting it be is just another idea. So everything is already as it is.
But every happening it's already done.
It's already done, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's already done. There's nothing that can be done or undone about it because it's already done. It can't be whatever it is. It's just this still clarity that everything is already this.
Done.
There's nothing outside of this.
No.
Yeah. The idea that there's something can be outside of this is also this.
Yeah, it feels so.
Mm-hmm. Perfection.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Shir.
Thank you.
It's William, the guy that was here last day. Sorry about that. He's coming. Oh shoot, there's a question here. Can you talk about can you talk about emotions when losing in sports, the depression of losing and pain? Yes. Again, in a dream, like in a nighttime dream, everything that appears in a nighttime dream feels completely real. So if someone lost at sports, it is quite painful, especially if you're rooting for a team or something. And there's this recurring, attachments to winning or losing. Again, it's separation, right? If you look at the way that it's almost kind of like it's set up. It's like a setup, although no one set it up. That everything is separate. There's a left or right. There's a team that you like. There's a team that you dislike. You're rooting for one team, and because of that multiplicity in differences of this and that, you and I, countries. There are no countries. There are no teams. There's no others. It's all a play. It's kind of like when there's two puppies really gnawing at each other. I don't know if you've seen two puppies play rough. It's like taking a side of one puppy from the same litter. They're all the same. It's just play. So even the play of depression, of losing and pain, is also play. It's because when you have played so rough that you take it personally. I don't know if you've done that as a kid. You're like, no more. And then the other kid will be like, it's just play. And the other kid will be like, I don't want to play with you anymore. And then after a few seconds goes, do you want to play again? That's what is. But there seems to be some seriousness that happens when there is, especially like, some football or hockey or in Canada, it's just because there is this sense of separation by a sense of belonging. So when you belong to a country or a team or something, you think that you're whole, but actually that's separation, because it's being seen everything as completely separate. So it's this persistent illusion that there is a separation. There are teams, there are others. There's this team and there's other team, and you can see, like, you know, in Toronto, and when there is a Maple Leafs game, they've never won. For you still root for them, you know what I'm saying? And somehow it increases every year. This kind of like, this time we're gonna win, this time we're going to make it. It's like again, it's like two little kids playing, and the other kid goes, loser. And it hurts the other kid completely, and it keeps on coming back and fighting and everything. It's just really just really, everything is just like a day in the sandlot. If you look at it, people kind of like playing, you flick me with too much sand, let's start a war, and that kind of thing. This is my area now, you can't come here. It's all child's play. It's all pure and innocent, and that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. I had this, I think in one of my glimpses, and this is just a story. This was maybe about 8 years ago. I saw that everything as a child, that came from whole, that was separated by language, because they had tantrums, and they can like separated from each other, and they created their own language, and then when they came back, they could not understand each other anymore. But the language that they had was unconditional love. That's all the language. So unconditional love language includes everything, right? There's no separation. So when there's languaging that happens, if you go to this area, there's little Tibet here, there's little Italy, there's little Portugal, in a city. And when there is a soccer game here, it's really, really fun. Actually, I was on top of a bus stop one time cheering for, I don't know which team, because I'm not Italian or Portuguese, but I just wanted to be a part of it. But I can see the friction between the Portuguese and the Italian, because it was such a, do you remember that? It was really, really rough here.
It happens once every 4 years.
Yes, it does, it does. And then my friend goes, Emerson, you're rooting for the other team. I'm like, I'm sorry. What are you again? He goes, I'm Italian. I'm like, oh, okay. Yes, go Italy. It's it's all a play. It's all a play. It's all wholeness playing separateness in something that is never ever serious. Never ever serious. So no one gets hurt. It's a sandbox. Hey, Steve.
Hi, Emerson.
How are you?
Okay, how you doing?
I'm good.
I can tell you're doing well.
What's that?
I can tell you're doing well.
Yes, I have my sweater on.
My son has 2 parrots. I showed him your hoodie. He liked it.
Nice.
Another way to look at this is, if you were to take a large brick building and touch a brick, you could be seen as touching a brick, but you're actually touching an entire building.
Mm.
But at the same time, there's no you.
Yeah.
There's no you, but at the same time, you could be seen as touching the entire universe. I mean, there's really no separation at all, and there's no one doing it.
Or you can also say that you've never been touched at all, because there's nothing separate.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's all the perspective that gets hooked around the situation, or not.
Yeah, it's just all languaging, doesn't it? Right? If you start kind of like, well, there's no you, but when there's this seeing, that there's this languaging that kind of like pops up, and it's beautiful. It separates silence. All of the words that we say, and for these words to appear, there's this silence all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So all of these words are popping out of nowhere, and it's just really all silent. So it's just little fluctuations of silence with this high notes and low notes, but it's all silence. It's never separate from silence. Otherwise, you would not hear it. So
How
the
did that-
words, every single word that's been uttered is just an illusion in this realm of silence.
Out of that silence, sometimes there's the word but, B-U-T,
That's also silence.
that pops out.
Yeah, but that's
that-
also
but that-
silence.
It is, but someone once said to me that but is the pugnacious and. People tend to think of it as a separation from everything that went before. And depending on how they're looking at it, it is. But at the same time, it can also be an encompassing of the seemingly excluded. It's this, but also that.
Beautiful, yeah.
So
Yeah. Beautiful. Thank you for sharing. Guys.
random thoughts.
Random thoughts from no one.
Yes. Yes. Thank you.
Thank you.
It's a good one.
That's a good one. Yeah, yeah, totally. Zalan? Hey, Zalan.
Hello.
Hey, how are you doing?
Yeah, fine, thank you. I think I just accidentally, but I have a question actually.
Sure, go ahead.
So, is everything random?
Nothing is.
Nothing is random.
No. That's kind of like, everything is just happening. That's kind of like putting it into a concept again, right? That nothing is random. Then you can also say that I like simplifying it, that nothing is happening.
Yeah.
Nothing is happening. So it's like when you're dreaming at night, there's ideas that nothing is random, or everything is meant to be, or everything that you thought of in that night dream completely evaporates the moment that you wake up, meaning nothing really happened. So
Yeah,
in this communication, it's not about building up, kind of like thinking that I'm getting somewhere because I'm understanding now. It's about the destruction or the disruption of any ideas that you think, including is everything random. So it's almost kind of like an unknowing. It's almost kind of like a purging of everything that you think is an idea. So that's what's happening here. Is just that everything that pops up also is not happening. Everything that's happening is not happening simultaneously.
Yeah, so basically both of them are true. Everything is random and everything are meant to be.
They're just
not?
words. They're just words.
Just ideas.
There's nothing really true. So true, another one that kind of like get caught up is when you think that something is true, then there's something false. So it creates this separation again, right?
Yes.
You can see if they're both true or false. And the best way that I can answer that is I don't know, because there's no one here to know.
Okay. Thank you, Emerson.
All right, thank you.
I love your show.
Oh, thank you, Zalan. Oh, I didn't even see you here. Here, just a second. I want to see you.
Okay.
I haven't seen you. We've talked over the internet, but I can't see you. There you are.
Okay, I'm here.
Hey!
All right. Am I here?
Yes. Well, you're not, but.
Okay, thank you, Emerson.
All right, Zalan. Good to see you.
Thank you, you too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Again, there's no difference if you fall asleep or you stay awake, because what's being expressed here is really nothing. It's in everything. It's in the falling asleep. It's in the paying attention. It's not in paying attention. It's whatever appears is it. So it's not about learning or grasping anything. It's just whatever happens is what's happening. The immediacy is complete. It's the non-negotiable. So don't think that, I dozed off for like 20 minutes or an hour, that you missed something you never did.
And yawning, in my experience, yawning like this is processing happening.
Yeah.
Like a treatment, like a massage or something.
Oh yeah, it's just
The
relaxing.
yawning is just like the
Yeah.
body is
Yeah.
doing
Yeah.
something.
Yeah. I should release that video. I have this person that I did one-on-one with, and then she was very, she said, I listened to you nonstop. So I did a 4-day. Did you guys go to that one? I did a 4-day event online with like 12 sessions. So this person attended all the 12 sessions, and then when it was about to be finished, she was frantically creating another playlist to last 24 hours because she said, I cannot stop listening to this. So she ended up playing it. She was taking a shower. She never really partied. She was cooking, and then she went biking, and then she came back, and then she said, no one was cooking. No one was biking. No one was even listening to Emerson. So Emerson didn't even do anything. It was just this things that was just happening automatically. And then she called me and she said, let's cancel the next, one-on-one. Actually, no, let's talk about it. And then we talked about it. And then she said that it's in everything. It's in everything. It's in the not paying attention to. It's in the paying attention to. It's in because what she thought that she was trying to negotiate the non-negotiable by keeping this voice, because she had a glimpse, keeping this voice that made her disappear for a few seconds, that it needs to be there all the time. But what was actually seen is like she didn't even need to listen to me because everything is just happening automatically. The feeling actually that she has is like, oh my goodness, I didn't listen to Emerson for 8 hours because I was basically like doing all of this stuff and I'm just in the background noise. And then she said, well, if I was not paying attention, so who was cooking? Who was cleaning? Who was biking? And then she sat down and she said, it's all happening by itself. And there's really no Emerson.
So that was how long? 12 hours of no Emerson?
There's never been any Emerson. No. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah. And before you do something like that, then that becomes a technique. No. It's missing the point of what's being said, that it doesn't really matter what's being said here. This is just an energetic expression saying that everything is boundless and free already. That there's no teacher, there's no speaker, there's no wisdom, there's no knowing that needs to be understood, because everything is already understood. Go ahead.
No, sorry, I just keep catching myself nodding when I'm trying to stop the nod.
Oh yeah.
Bobblehead, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
Even that is like the blah, blah, blah going on, right?
Yeah.
Like constant.
Yeah.
You forget it, it's going to break it.
Yeah. There was a time actually when I was really desperate into seeking, that I would start my day that there's no one here. 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 And then I would go into, I thought that I got out of the mantras. I used to do mantras before as a spiritual teacher. And then I replaced it that there's no one here. So the no one here became a belief system, became kind of like an understanding. And then and that's just what happens is when you say that there's no one here, it reinforces that there was one in the first place.
Me. There's no
Yeah.
me here, but me is seeing that.
That's right, yeah. That's a good one, actually. Repeat that again.
There's no one here, but the me is seeing that there's no one here.
That's right,
There's
yeah.
one me.
Yeah. The me has just gone underground. It became a better me. Can you talk about this felt sense of realness of separation? Yeah, definitely. Because it's an illusion. It's an illusion. It's perfect. So in the illusion of separation, for it to work, there has to be a felt sense of separation. To be able to hold this glass, there has to be this illusion that I am separate from it. To be able to drink this tea, there's this separation that's happening. To be able to talk, there's this sound that's coming from silence. So in this very persistent felt sense of separation is the it cannot be dislodged, but it doesn't have to be believed. It can't be, it's a function of what's happening, because if you'll just be bumping into walls, I'm saying, if there's no sense of separation or whatsoever, or worse, falling all over the place. So what's being described here is that, again, I'm going to use the dream analogy here. Kind of like in a dream analogy, anything that is separate, anything that feels completely opposite, other people, time, feelings, nightmares, dissolves completely into nothing. And you don't even know it. You don't even, don't even notice it. That all throughout the day, kind of like what I was saying about this person that had the dropping away, is that you don't even notice that you're not there most of the time. Or sometimes you're looking for something and you don't even know what you're looking for. Or you're running around in circle doing all of these chores and everything, and it's just all happening automatically. The moment that the me kind of like tries to own what was happening to this is happening to me, then it becomes a little bit dramatic. Oh, I can't keep on working like this anymore, or what, this is too tiring. So it complains about separation, and it's so free that it can do about that, and really it's nothing happening. There's no one that's ever had any free will or choice. And the other thing that is kind of funny is that no one has ever looked at you. You've never looked at anyone. We've never met. Because what you meet is an illusion. Everything that you see is an illusion. And the illusion feels completely real though, right? Like that we're meeting here and everything. That we're talking to each other. That we're having this meeting. But just like everything is 99.99% empty, somehow I can hold this mic. Has a pretty goddamn good illusion. Yeah. It's very convincing. I think I've repeated, it's kind of like Albert Einstein said that illusion is reality is an illusion, albeit a very persistent one, because it keeps on appearing in everything, and the one that it is seen all the time is just the timelessness of everything. The timelessness of everything. That even when you are late, when you think that you're late, that's timelessness being late. It's just an idea of what late is.
That's really good because I hate being late.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just what's happening. There's nothing that you can do. It's a happening.
It's almost impossible. It is impossible to wrap your mind around that.
You can't, because you don't have a mind.
The mind
You don't even have a mind. It's just another one. Again, the moment that you think that you have a mind, and you reinforce that I am thinking, that I am doing this. So in the immediacy of things, everything that's just appearing right now, this aliveness, this awakeness is just it. So there's this unmoving timelessness with the running illusion of movement, of time. It's kind of like this light has this kind of like screens of stuff that's kind of like this solid light that never blinks. You know what I'm saying? There's just this whatever. Has all of these different shadows kind of like dancing around it. But once it's seen that none of those are real, it's just this stillness. You're like, oh wow, I can now enjoy the show. I'm not a part of it because I'm not even here. I never had any problems. I never had any thoughts. I never had any feelings. I never been anything. I've never done anything. This is just what's happening.
But who's enjoying the show?
No one.
Not you.
No one. No one is enjoying the show. It's just the seeing. It's kind of like, it's almost like the one that you think that it's just emptiness. It's just emptiness recognizing itself and enjoying its emptiness. Yeah.
That's what it feels like here when the kids come in and we're all together.
Yeah.
It's real big.
Oh.
Happy, nothing.
Yeah. Sheer. Hi, Sheer. Hello.
Hello, hello.
Hello.
Hello, hello. Do you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. I was thinking to ask you about sensation.
Yes.
Is that not that the sensation is actually is suppression?
That's just another idea, right? I don't even know what that means. I'm just trying to
I
really
mean-
simplify things here. So everything
Yeah.
that's appearing, even sensations, is just what's appearing. It doesn't need to be kind of like, is that really suppression? Is that really this? Then it involves an illusory thinker thinking of what it is and what it should be and what it should not be. So when the thinker collapses because the one that is thinking is not there, then everything is just allowed because there's no one allowing it or no one blocking it or no
Just
one trying
allow.
to define it. Yeah. It's just the simplicity of the immediacy of this
Yeah.
that can't be described, that can't be known, that can't be understood, that can't be profiled. It's just this.
Yes, but I mean, this is
This
this is have to be everything. I don't.
this is all. This is all. This is all that there is this.
because even when I talk about sensation, if you put your hand in one material thing, it's just between these two which say that this is not you.
Yeah, again, everything in this appearance supports separation. Because the illusion that is separate, like sensations, is separation, because no one's really having any sensation.
No, it's just sensation.
Yeah, it's just sensations happening. So who needs to say that it's oppression or whatever? It's just what's happening. It's just the immediacy of this.
It's not happening. It is.
The immediacy of this non-happening. You can also call it that.
Yeah.
Again, everything is happening and non-happening simultaneously. You can't even picture that because the apparent illusion can only functions in time. So when it
Yeah.
gets disrupted, that's usually when there is a glimpse, saying there's this resonance that there is really no time, that there's really nothing happening. And then all of these ideas and everything is really a so what.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Thank you, Cher.
Thanks.
I had an interesting discussion with a friend about memory
Yes.
Recently, and I was just kind of gently poke holes in the validity of the whole concept of memory, and because there's a lot to say about that. Not that I have any strong opinions, but he got quite indignant, and at the idea that number one, that his memories weren't real, and number two, that they weren't his. And it was just kind of funny to me, as if I mean, he was getting a little upset with me. His memories were really important to him, which of course, I mean, all of our memories are important to us. but I mean,
The past.
he-
Non-duality.
yeah, I mean, who would I be without my memories? But even in this kind of very vague theoretical way, he just was not hearing this at all. No, no, my memories are real, man. I don't know about yours. My memories are real.
It's kind of actually really funny. I like talking about to neuroscientists about memory and stuff like that. There's no such thing as memory because there's no time, and no one had it. So everything is just immediately happening. It's kind of like, oh, I remember that. It supports that there is separation. So the illusion is so I don't even know how to say it. It's just so exquisite that it covers everything. If you say that there's no time, and there will be kind of like a saying that, well, I have this picture of me when I was a little kid, though, that supports that I'm young. But since there's no time, that is also appearing all at once to support that there's time. But there's that picture doesn't exist or anything. Kind of like in a dream at night. When you're dreaming at night, you really feel that it's completely true. That this kind of like this. You feel that you're really convinced that this is really happening until there's this kind of like break from it. You're like, oh, none of that actually really happened. And sometimes you get completely so convinced that sometimes you're crying when you wake up, or you're panting when you wake up.
Or the opposite, you have a lucid dream where you realize, or the opposite, when you have a lucid dream and you realize you're dreaming. That's such a weird sensation.
Oh, I always take off. I say, okay, I'm gonna fly.
I do that
always
too.
fly.
I do that too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Little fly. Yeah.
I love
Yeah.
go into a flying kick mode and
Yeah.
just start traveling around like that.
But yeah,
Just
I mean,
going down the road.
to use that analogy, I mean, I guess kind of a similar feeling.
Yeah, it is kind of similar. Yeah, there's again the persistence of this dream, this illusion, is so convincing that that you convinced that there are others. You convinced that there are people that thinks about you, or all this kind of stuff, that has this separateness. Again, it's very persistent. That sometimes it drives you into depression or anxiety if you think that people are thinking about you, or thinking that someone is. And then when it's expressed, or when it's shown that, well, if there's no you, there are really no others, so no one has really said shit about you. And it just kind of like, it's almost kind of like, oh, I don't really have a nemesis then. I don't really have any kind of enemies then. It's all imagination. All of this stuff is just all imaginary, and it's just a very persistent dream. It's a very persistent reality that's not even real. Because if seen again, all throughout the day, there's no you. It doesn't really exist. When you're having pain, actually, it's just pain happening. And then when the narrator comes in and says, well, this is really bad, and that I could die. There's still no you there. There's this idea of separateness. It's like an app. It's kind of like when the moment that Siri or Alexa kind of like shows up, you don't think that they're real. You don't keep on a conversation with them. You don't make them coffee. You don't make them tea. It's not real. So what's temporal is not real.
I like that you said temporal and temporary. So I don't usually refer to reality as, the false reality as temporal, but temporal is temporary.
It is temporary, yeah.
Thing for the me to remember.
Yeah. Everything that is happening is not really happening because it's temporal. It's like a dream. It's not consistent. So what is consistent is this peacefulness that arises in everything, this emptiness that is present in every single thing. That's what is permanent. But you don't even know that. That's what's infinite here. It's like you're looking for something that can never leave because it's permanent. Or you're seeking for something that is never lost because it was never lost. You can never find it because it's always this. Yeah. Oh, okay. Oh, no worries. Thank you.
Can you tolerate this?
Oh, yeah, yeah, it's good. It's good. It's really good. I used to drink it when I was a kid.
Kanji water?
Yeah,
Ice water?
yeah,
Cool.
yeah. This is very comforting.
And what?
Very comforting.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, there's a sign out there that says, huge sign that says, fear a bit less and live a bit more.
Did you know that there's a sign here in this store that said that nothing changes? So it's the the shutter. Yeah, it says nothing changes. Yeah.
Nothing changes everything.
Yeah, that's
I mean,
right.
for-
Yeah.
My cat is like that. He'll be sitting down in a safe place, like in the bushes and all, and you'll watch him. And sorry, and his ears are twitching, so you know he's listening to everything that's happening, like complete alertness. There's a stillness, even though he's crouched up in a comfortable position. Complete alertness. That's why you can't catch them, right?
But this is also complete alertness and everything. Yeah, there's nothing really different from that one, right? Because what you're perceiving is just another story about what a cat is.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
But we somehow get untrained because of labeling and language. But
yeah.
they have that advantage, or disadvantage of not having to learn a language, and they just stay in their pristine, natural state.
Yeah, but this is also the natural state.
Yeah.
See, thinking that you can get untrained or unloose and everything like that is reinserting that you are real.
Yeah.
Yeah, that there is something wrong with you that you need just to be perfect again. So what's appearing here is already perfection. This is the naturalness of everything already. Even the idea that it's not natural is also natural because there's only wholeness. There's also this completeness, right? So thinking that there's something lacking, that there's something that I can do, there's something that I need to do, or something that needs to drop away, is negotiating the non-negotiable, that this is already, yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's creating these scenarios after scenarios of, if I was only like a cat, of all, you know what I'm saying? It always avoids what's being presented, that this is already perfection. And it comes up with different scenarios of why this is not perfect, or it comes up, slyly about, an example about something. But if you catch that, well, there's no you to catch that. But when it's seen that the one that's trying to kind of like come up with all of this stuff is the one that is absent. Yeah. The one it's also emptiness. So everything that comes up or arises is also empty. All the blinking, all of the thinking, all of this kind of like, oh, that's also emptiness talking, emptiness imagining. It's never ever separate. There's never been any separation. So even that, what you're thinking about, that's emptiness thinking about something. Yeah. So it's never separate. See, that seems to be the dilemma. Yeah, the quandary is that how do I get there when I'm not there? How do I understand something that cannot be understood? How do I get this when it can't be caught? So the obstacle really is this idea that there was separation, or the belief that I am separate from wholeness. But wholeness appears in thoughts about whatever. Thoughts about separation, thoughts about cats, thoughts about, I wish I was a cat. That's also wholeness. Yeah. So everything that will ever come up will be perfection, and nothing less or more. It's just perfection. Everything that appears, every single thought, every single step, every single blink, every single idea is already perfection. There's nothing that needs to be changed, because if this is already paradise, you can't. The obstacle of this paradise, or this wholeness, or this completeness, is that silly idea that I am separate from it. Yeah. It's just really a very silly game. It's just really silly game of a play of separation. It's just really silly. It's nothing serious, right? And the seriousness is also a game. The trying to understand it is also a game. The trying to figure it out is also a game, because it's just gaming itself.
So that lady who got, who was doing the cooking and the biking and the listening and talking to you, and she slowly became aware that, hey, where am I? Like, I'm missing. Did she settle? What happened with that?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
So it's kind of really funny because she had an apparent she said that she had an apparent glimpse in one of the talks, and she didn't want to lose that, right? She didn't want to lose it. She's like, oh, I got it. For it was 10 minutes this time. 10 minutes this time. So she said, all I need to do is listen to this nonstop, and and put it on my playlist. Well, she actually slept with it, and then when she woke up, there's another kind of like 24-hour playlist, and then she was just doing things kind of like thing. It's actually kind of like she almost tricked herself because she had it all planned and everything, and she thought that that she could keep on going and keep on doing this. But what she didn't see coming was that this seeing that, wait a second here, because she's like, oh my goodness, I haven't even listened to Emerson for 8 hours. I was just cleaning, I was doing this, I was doing all of that. She goes, I was not doing any of that, because it just collapsed. Time collapsed because she was just set. She was just like doing things, and she had this apparent character's talk as a background. So it just became like music. It just became part of everything, and there was nothing separate. Yeah.
So in a way, she tricked.
She tricked herself. Yeah. 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 Yeah.
So has that been maintained?
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I usually post, again, nothing happens, with one-on-ones, and I don't do anything or anything like that. I usually post, videos of an after a parent, whatever. Usually, I don't actually post a lot of them, but what I post sometimes is, for example, the last one that I posted was after she's had maybe several months of it. Yeah, we had a talk, and she and she laughs at this now. It's kind of funny. She when she first came into the one-on-one, she said that, well, I'm almost there. So of course this character is very brutal. I'm like, who's there? And it just completely kind of like was really brutal with the thing. And at the end she was just like, I think she just looked, and she was quite stunned because she was going into that thing that I almost got this. So the idea that I almost got this reinserts that there was you to get it anyway. So it completely kind of like threw her off, and then she talked about the different resistance to it and all that kind of negotiation. But there's always peace that cannot be broken in any of this. And what was noticed anyway, that all throughout that time, she would message me and she would say that, well, you know what, I really feel peace, but there's this peacefulness here that cannot be shook. But how come anxiety is still happening? I'm like, because anxiety happens. There's this romanticized idea about this again, that everything disappears. So again, everything, because anxiety is also it. It's also emptiness appearing as anxiety. And it's often wanting to get rid of, wanting to be negotiated. It wants it to kind of like, I don't want this, I want something else. And then it rejects what it's looking for, because everything that appears is always empty. It's always kind of like saying, hi, it's graduation time. Hi, it's graduation time. Hi. And then and then the apparent character is looking for credits in knowing, credits in understanding, trying to prepare a dissertation about awareness or consciousness, and loses the point completely that there's nothing. In the University of Illusion, nothing. Everything that's learned is an illusion. And the way out of it is to see that it's an illusion. But the one that is studying, or the one that is trying to get this, keeps on trapping itself, thinking that I need to graduate.
I was just thinking about something like that. Is there a place for simplification of one's life to start throwing out?
Oh no, you just looking for credits.
No, no, no. I just want less stress. Like, get rid of the truck. It keeps breaking down. Get rid of it. Just become a driver. You don't need to own, drive a truck and fix it also. Just drive. The driving is the beautiful part. And if you don't have to pay for it, you actually get paid for it. That's like, oh. But if you have to, you make the money you make from that, you pay double on fixing the truck. Well, that's the nightmare, the pain. So I mean, like simplify.
So, William, you just asked me for a technique there. I'm so sorry. There's no such thing because everything is already perfection. Everything is already non-negotiable. So you're trying to negotiate to simplify because you have an idea that this is too complex and everything. Since there's no free will or choice, there's going to be just a simplification or not a simplification. There's going to be stress or no stress. And it will just, but the attachment that I have to do something creates double the stress. Yeah. Because there's no one there. It's just what's happening.
Because as a child, you're so stress-free, right? No responsibility. There's no responsibility as a child. You're stress-free. You want to make a sandcastle, you make a sandcastle. You want to break the sandcastle, you break the sand. You want to build one and create dungeons underneath and meet somebody else's hand from the opposite side. It's just bliss. It's like games. But then you grow up and, this stuff called life happens. Responsibility.
So, William, since there's no you, you've never been a child. You've actually never seen a child. So all of these are just stories and trying to, again, negotiate something that's already being presented as perfection. What's being presented here is that nothing needs to be changed. And you keep on thinking that if only in the beginning, you like, if only I was a cat. Now you're changing the narrative of only I'm a child. Then it will be stress-free. But you were never a child and you've never been anyone. Yeah. So everything is already as it is, this sheer perfection that does not require any change. It's changeless. So it's trying to avoid the unavoidable, which is this happening. Since there's this persistence of like, I want a better experience, then you are persistence of your existence, then that's what suffering is happening. It's because there's persistence. There's already an illusion that's really persistent, and the illusion is trying to be more persistent about illusion by making it hurt. Yeah. There's no one doing that, though, or not. Everything is already perfect. It's already perfection. Any questions? Oh, there's a question here from Sheer. Hey, Sheer.
Yeah, no problem if you have someone so you can take. Yeah. I just couldn't understand constructed energy.
Repeat it again, sorry, Sheer. Sorry, there was a fire.
Constructed energy.
Okay.
I couldn't understood that.
Everything is already boundless energy. So there's this illusion of contractedness when you think that that this energy is independent or separate. So this boundless energy that appears as everything, that appears as the TV, as your elephant picture there, is boundless energy. The moment that you get caught up in thinking that I am separate from all of this, then it constructs, and it can be quite painful.
Yeah.
Because you're separating yourself from what is.
I mean, is constructed energy is synonym to merging? Emerging, like my thought, my walking, I talking.
Yeah, you're trying to complicate it again. There's no you to have any thoughts. There's no you that's constructed. Again, what's being offered here is already completed. So whatever it is, all of these feelings of contracted is also eternity. It's also infinity.
Yes, I don't.
Yeah.
I don't
because
know
there's
I don't know if I did explain right. It's my English is also
no
very
worries,
bad.
no worries, no worries.
I mean, I say I walk, I talk, I don't know, I this and so on. and this is a kind of emerging that this is me. Actually, it's not me. It's walking, it's talking, it's feeling, it's whatever.
So the idea of not me is also it's just another
Me.
idea. Yeah, so it has gone underground, and you're basically saying kind of like what I was saying before, when I was seeking desperately, I kept on saying there's no me, there's no me, there's no me. So the me goes underground and tries to deny. So when you're saying that that's not me walking, that's not me doing that, it's an understanding.
No, it's not that I feel that. It's that I'm involved in that, and what
There's no
me
you
come
that's
on.
involved in it. There's no you that's involved in it. There's no you. Yeah. Again, that persistent kind of like inserting that I am involved in it. It's not about getting rid of that, but it's seeing that that's also the illusion. The illusion that I am the one walking. I am. So when the illusion gets disrupted, it's just walking, because there's no more narrator. There's no more how do you say it? A commentator of what's happening.
I understood this, but but I mean, what is the me come? How the me become me? Because
How does
you
the me
said
become
that,
me? There's never been a me, so there's no one that become or unbecome a me. There's never been a me.
no.
Yeah. So there's no one to become a me, and there's no one to unbecome a me, because the me doesn't exist.
Yeah, so there is walking, there is talking,
Yeah.
there is
Yeah.
this, and so on.
Yeah. And then that's it. That's it. No need to think about it. It's just talking, walking, holding
Walking,
hands. Yeah.
yeah.
So trying to
Yeah.
understand it, conceptualize it, claims it.
No,
Claims it, right?
I don't want to. I'm already graduated, and I am very sad for that. So,
Okay.
so this is not I'm after, I'm
Yeah, we did
after
that
the
one on
mess.
one already. Yeah, that's what I was.
Yeah.
Maybe the communication, the English thing is
Yeah.
blocking it. So yeah, so what seems to be happening is just this apparent character name Shir that's not really there, and it's just the eyes are blinking, the head is nodding, the hand is reaching, and then that's it. So there are no thoughts behind that. It's just what's happening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Shir.
Thank you.
Thank you, Laura. Love you too. Salan goes, thank you all. Well played, emptiness. Well played, young sir. Well played.
I was kind of struck by something you said about thank you, about the me going underground, because I have this kind of vague impression that with me, it's kind of the opposite. It's like the more I listen to speakers like yourself, and the more I kind of try to process non-dual concepts, it's like the me or the selfing energy, it gets very feisty. It starts fighting back. And to use the example from earlier, the more I think that, oh, well, I wasn't late because there's no me to be late and there's no time anyway. Well, the more annoyed I get about things like being late. It's just like all those patterns and energies seem to assert themselves even more aggressively, because it's like they're fighting for their lives or something. I don't know if that makes sense or not.
Yeah, totally. Totally, because what happens is it's like there's this illusion that recreates another illusion, and this illusion is superior, and this illusion is less than, and sometimes it goes underground, and it becomes this judge. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And then all of a sudden, thinking that, well, there's no me. The no me is observing the me right now. That's still a me. Yeah. Or the me is aware, or abiding in this awareness of there's a me, all of that kind of stuff, but everything is just me, kind of like trying to reassert its dominance in the illusion, but it's really powerless.
It's totally maddening. I mean, it's like, oh, thanks.
Well, the good news is you've never done any of those. You don't have a black belt in spirituality. You don't have, mastery in meditation. None of that actually happened. And the good news is there's nothing else to do. This is already graduation. It's kind of like you're telling me, I need to graduate right now because I have, degrees in this. I have my dissertation prepared. I have my master's in non-dual awareness or something. None of that matters because you don't matter.
It's actually the opposite.
That's,
belts drop away.
that's very funny.
Yeah.
And very relaxing.
Yeah. It's like you've never done anything and you can never do anything. So as I said, it's always graduation. But you're kind of like, well, what do I need to do to graduate? Nothing. Because this is already this. This is non-negotiable. It's already this. Trying to change something by thinking that you can get somewhere it denies this persistent hello. Do you want to add something to that?
No, all I need is a hoodie like yours.
We have a merch shop in the back. Ariana's got it covered. Petra, how are you doing?
It's getting better. If we do
Good.
it in 4 more hours, it's better. No.
There's no more
There's
four
no
more
more
hours.
4 hours.
I don't know what you're talking about there.
No choice at all. Not even between pain and suffering.
You're
Suffering.
negotiating again, Petra. Negotiating. This is non-negotiable. It can't be negotiated. Whatever is happening is happening. Again, you know what? You can't go outside and scream at the rain and say stop. Children do that.
I did that already.
Yeah.
Even as an adult, I did that already.
Yeah.
So
Where did that get you?
hate myself for doing it.
There are things that cannot be controlled. You know what I'm saying? But what seems to be happening is uncontrollable. It's wildness. It's kind of like trying to stop a waterfall by using a teaspoon. Stop. Stop.
And when there's this suggestion to be like the open house, let everything, but there's no one who is doing it.
It's just an open house. There's no one resides in it. So the doors are all open. The windows are all open. Whatever comes, leaves. Because there's no one running the house. The lights are always on though.
Oh, thank you so much.
Thank you, Petra. Thank you. Antonella, please go ahead.
Hi, Emerson.
Hi.
Hi. How you
Hi.
doing?
I'm good. How you doing?
Good, good, good.
Lots of people ask about you still, Antonella, from that video that we did. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't even know why I raised my hands. It's amazing.
It is, isn't it?
I used to say thank you, Emerson, and now it's saying that it doesn't make sense. There is not a you, a me thing. It's nothing. It's really happening, and it's so amazing.
Isn't it? Isn't it beautiful, huh?
Yeah, and how can we talk about this? It's untalkable. It's unexplainable. It's
It is.
wow. It's like
It is.
wow, and there is so much love.
It's undeniable. The love.
I
Is
mean, it's all love. It's not so much. It's all love. There is only love. Yeah. Yeah. It's.
I love you very emptily there, Antonella, and we'll chat again soon. It's always nice chatting with you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm so glad I brought this sweater. Because I thought it was going to be hot, right? Yeah. Well, I would love to thank everyone that came in person, although no one showed up. But thank you. I would like also to thank everyone online. Thank you so much for nothing and everything. Thank you so much for coming, and I'll email you guys about the next one. It's just been always such a blast talking about nothing nonstop. But bye, everyone.
Thank you,
Okay,
Emerson.
thanks, Emerson.
Thank you.
Thanks, Emerson.
Mariana's coming in 30 minutes. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Love you.
Bye. Bye. Hi,
Thank you,
Zoe.
Emerson.
Manuela, thank you. See you guys.
Wow.
Thank you. Bye.